All right. The next game we got to get to. Auburn on the road lost 67-62 at Tennessee. They are now just a game in front of three teams in the SEC regular season title race. Before we get into a conversation about Kentucky and Arkansas, we got to talk about these Auburn Tigers. T.O. with Wendell Green at the point. Is there an argument to be made that Auburn is fraudulent?
Yeah, absolutely there is. And here's the problem. I was harping on, well, Zep Jaspers can be the answer. But Zep Jasper came in there. He couldn't even initiate offense because now Tennessee's got is a Kai Ziegler and Kennedy Chandler. Like those guys get up underneath your legs and make it hard. But you just have to enter an offense. They were trying to enter the ball to Jabari Smith on a few possessions, and they couldn't get him the ball on the elbow. That's an issue, guys. Like if you can't get your best player the ball when teams are pressuring you, I'm worried. And the window, what did he end up 2 for 15? Time to pump the brakes, dude. Like this needs to be fixed in a hurry. And so I worry about that a lot. Over the last 5 games, he's taken the ball in his own hands at the end of the games. Jabari Smith needs to have that ball. Point blank, period. I realize you want your guys to play with confidence if you're Bruce Pearl. I get that. But it's time to rein it back. You're creeping into SEC tournament play. You're creeping into NCAA tournament play. This is an Auburn team talent-wise that can make a Final Four run. You better get your point guard in check. That's the only thing that worries me there. So if they don't get that fixed, a fraud. And I hope you guys enjoy Jabari Smith because he's gone. And this is a solid shot to win a national championship if you get the point guard play in check. Right now, fraudulent as $1 million check that I could write Fanta because that sucker's bouncing.
Fanta, let me play devil's advocate on this one. Right now, Auburn is, let me make sure I have the record. I think they're 25-4, right? They've lost 3 of their last 6. One of those losses came in overtime. I think it was by 2 points at Arkansas, right? One of them came by a single point at Florida. One of them came by 5 points at Tennessee, which is a top 15 team in the country and a top 10 team in all of the metrics. So my question to you is this just a result of Auburn playing difficult games on the road in conference play at the end of the season?
Yes, it is. You didn't have to play devil's advocate with me because I'm prepared to say that Terrence Oglesby is fraudulent for saying that on a Monday morning. I've come with fighting words to you, you fraud. No, I'm just kidding. Look, so Wendell Green Jr. is 13 for 51 over the course of his last 5 games. At some point throughout the route of 51, you got to calm down and stop taking shots. 13 for 41, I'd even respect. 13 for 51, that tells me that you're taking too many shots. Now, Bruce Pearl's a really, really good coach. The SEC features some really good coaches. And Tennessee basketball should win at home against the good SEC teams. And they did in this game. Auburn lost the game by 5 on a day where Wendell Green Jr. shot 2 for 15. And you look elsewhere, they didn't get anything from their bench. And they shot 35% from the floor. They shot 5 for 24 from 3. Here's the deal. Auburn is still more than good enough to win a national championship because they have a transcendent player in Jabari Smith. But at some point, your guards have got to be connected. Right now, their guards are disconnected, and they're still in these games. They're still in these games. They are going to cruise. I will call it right now. They're going to cruise to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament because they've seen this in the SEC. They are war ready, okay? Because they have seen it. They've battled. They've gone through all the fights. I don't know if they're winning the SEC tournament. That's going to be a free-for-all. That's not what life's about. If you're Auburn, life is about making an NCAA tournament run. They might do it as a 2 seed here because I don't know if they'll get the 1. But I believe in Auburn. I believe in Auburn because Bruce Pearl got this team to this point already, and they've swallowed their lumps. But that's life in the Southeastern Conference. The SEC is no doubt 1 or 2 this year in college basketball. Auburn is going to be okay because I trust their coach. And Wendell Green Jr. still needs to be a vital part of the equation, just not to the tune of 2 for 15.
Yeah, so the way that I would phrase it is this. I think that right now, Auburn, out of that, like group of top 4, top 5, whatever. I think they're the most likely to get picked off by someone we don't expect, because there's a very real chance that Wendell Green can have a night where he thinks he's Damian Lillard and shoots them out of a game. Like, I can absolutely see that happening. If you get Walker Kessler in a little bit of foul trouble and Wendell Green decides to have one of his 1 for 17 nights or whatever it is, then I think that's something that can lose you a basketball game that you're not supposed to lose.
You know what I could also see happening? Like Wendell Green going for 40 and then Pearl getting on in the post-game press conference and be like, there's a lot of people who doubted him, but I stuck with him. I just know that's going to happen.
Yeah, we got to remember here too. We're talking about, a sophomore in college here who's been a little bit, but Wendell Green Jr. is still a really, really good player.
He is.
But he's got to realize his role. And
you got to know your own scouting report. That's the most important thing in life.
Though.
Know your own scouting report.
Tio knows his scouting report.
Tio knows his scouting report. Couldn't guard anybody. Got a couple shots up one time, had a dunk in the game. That's Tio's scouting report right there.
Touch it, shoot it, mediocre defense, try to play help side to no avail. That's it.
Shout out to Eric Bossy. He calls that the all feels like leather team. If it feels like leather, the shot's going up.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All right.
I made that team. First team all feels like leather team.